little worried about?
Well, the Lakers continue to win, right? Tied with the Jazz right now, 9 straight victories. But can we just call out that Anthony Davis has a sore butt? Can we say that on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it.
So he's missed a couple games, and I think it's because they're winning that Frank Vogel has given them the luxury to take these games off. But we said injuries would be the one thing that would derail this team. Look, they're a defensive powerhouse. LeBron James looks like he's 27 again, going to Miami for the first time. Not one, not two, not three, not four. And they look good. But now you have Rondo with his fractured finger. I mean, they need point guard help. I know LeBron is facilitating the offense and
Mm.
really being ball dominant, but they need another pure point guard. And I think Rajon Rondo, because he's a cheap player now, is the only reason why he's got a starting job on this roster. Is Quinn Cook the answer? No, he can't start every game. You know, you
Mm.
mentioned Kyle Lowry on the Heat. Imagine him in a Laker uniform. Forget about it. They should just pack up and mail in the season now.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, there's been these like crazy takes. I earlier today I saw Stephen A. Smith was talking about guys that they could trade Kuzma for, and he was throwing out some wild names out there. And there have been a lot of guys who I've heard these trades for, and I don't think Lakers fans are rational right now in terms of Kuzma's value around the league. One of the names that's been big is Bogdanovich on the Kings, and I don't see any reason why the Kings would make that trade. And this is the thing that I think ends up being really challenging for this Lakers team is that I don't know who they can trade. What do they have, Jason? So let's say we follow this out. What do they have that other teams want that they can trade?
You know what, Ben? I don't know, and I blame Miami for that.
Yeah, I think part of that too, beyond just Miami, is that I don't think there's a lot of assets on this team that other teams are interested in. Maybe they can figure out a way to flip some picks and things, but really they gave up all those to New Orleans. So it's just the cupboard is pretty bare. And I worry a little bit, as you said, that they don't have a lot of depth, and I'm not sure how much better they can get unless they trade Kuzma and they can get someone who's. I mean, I think you mentioned a good name with a guy like Lowry, but is Toronto just going to give him up for a guy like Kuzma straight up? I don't know. They might have to sweeten
He's
it. So.
he's looking like he's falling out of favor there, though. You know, for him
Mhm.
being the one young guy they kept around after getting rid of Ball and Ingram and Hart, Kuzma doesn't look like he fits in too well, does he?
Not particularly, and he had that comment the other day about how when he gets an opportunity, he's good. But we'll see. So all's well in Lakerland for now, but both Jason and I have a couple concerns there. But our
I'm concerned
concerns,
with the sore butt. It's very scary.
you don't want to have a sore bottom. It's not a good look, and it's just no fun at all. But what is a good look, Jason, is our marquee matchups of the week, and I will not take away the number one matchup from you, Jason. Tell the folks about it.
So this one comes with a bit of a caveat because we don't know if Kyrie's going to play in both legs of a back-to-back. If he played tonight in Utah, the Nets are going to lose to the Jazz. They're down 11 here with a minute and a half left, but they're down 11. They fought, just wasn't enough. The Jazz are red hot, and he's playing right now in what's called garbage time. So I think he'll sit, but if he plays, I'm going Nets Sixers Wednesday night. I think that'll be a good matchup for both teams. Rematch of the playoffs. I think this is closer to being a rivalry than Nets Knicks is right now until the Knicks get super competitive, and then New York basketball will be on fire, which is I think what everybody in the city wants. So I'm going with that as number one.
Yeah, and you might get to see Joel Embiid's new shoe that he's going to be designing with Under Armour in that game. But at number two, we have a great game here. Celtics at Bucks. And one of the reasons I love this matchup, Jason, is I don't think the Celtics are remotely scared of the Bucks. I don't think the Celtics want to play the Sixers, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if there's some other teams that they'd rather avoid in the standings. But I don't think they're scared of this Bucks team. I think that they're more than happy to go to Milwaukee and play this team. So I think that's going to be a really fun game that might tell us a little bit more about what we'll be seeing come playoff time. What else do you got on here, Jason?
So I think that we had the Mavs on for a while, but now that they've cooled off, I'm going Lakers at Rockets on Saturday night the 18th. We're getting a snowstorm in the area, and I think you're going to want to just stay home, make a cup of hot cocoa, and watch this game. Lakers and Rockets, LeBron, AD if he's back from his bosom injury or buttocks injury. I'm a terrible person. And then you got Westbrook and Harden.
Yeah, and Harden is going crazy.
I'm officially retiring from podcasting.
Uh, don't you dare, because I have one more to say, Jason. So you can retire after.
No. I don't want to end the show. I'm just ending my career. I think after that
one. Well, before you end your career, Jason, we have to talk about the last one, which is an honorary fourth. As Jason said, we're not sure if Kyrie's going to play tomorrow. It seems like he might miss the game, and if so, the game that you might want to look out for is the rivalry to end all rivalries, Jason. Of course, it's Lakers, it's Celtics, it's in Boston. You know the Celtics fans are going to get up for this one, especially with LeBron coming to town. So that is going to be a fun one. And again, you know the Celtics team is just dying to take out these other big teams. They have the wings to throw at LeBron. This should be a great showcase for Davis. They don't really have anyone who can guard him. And meanwhile, we saw Jason Tatum a few years ago dunk all over LeBron. It's going to be fun to watch this young Celtics team and see how they respond to this Lakers team, especially with that rivalry, the history they have. That's going to be a fun one, Jason. So I know I'll be watching that next week. And we hope everyone here will be listening to us next week, because we're going to have another show for you on Tuesday. And Jason, we might actually have to start talking some All-Star next week, I think.
Yeah, I think next week will be a pretty action-packed show. The Martin Luther King Day game slate is always really good. It's one of the bigger NBA days of the year. We'll hopefully have Zion's debut, regular season debut to break down. We'll start getting into the All-Star, who we think will be the starters on each team, and how that's going to work, whether or not they're going to go back to the East versus West format. Should be pretty interesting. And then we'll start having that reserve debate where Ben and I lose a friendship over Levine versus Dinwiddie for the 12th All-Star spot in the East.
Maybe they can both make it, Jason. Because remember, kids, friendship is the most important thing. And be friends with us. And of course, we need to have you guys subscribe, rate, and review.
5 stars, please.
Because that's what friends do. And remember to listen to us next week and every week here at the Baseline Jumper. Jason, what else you got for the people?
If you want to be my lover, you got to be my friend. Because podcasting's forever. I'm not retiring.
Subscribe and 5 stars, please. What?
Oh, I think we both need to retire. Have a good week, everybody.